I struggled a lot. I mean, I'm by all definitions of the word an absolute failure. I failed out of college, was finished school at the age of 35 or 36. It took me a long time to kind of get on my feet and figure out what I was doing in my life. And I realized that like the reason that I was screwing up so much is because I always thought that accomplishing something outside of me or achieving some kind of goal would make me happy. And I didn't understand that all of my problems came from me. I also blamed all kinds of things outside of me. So I would blame circumstances. I would blame my professor is biased. This girl is, she doesn't see the goodness that I have in me. She can't recognize how awesome I am. So I kept on blaming things outside of me instead of accepting responsibility.
Take me from that point onwards. So what happened that brings you to sit here today as an accomplished individual, as a doctor, and so on?
So I think my journey starts with failure. So I think we think about failure as a negative thing, but I think that that's what actually got me started on my journey. After failing out of college, I went to India and I stayed in a monastery or ashram for about 3 months, and it completely changed the way that I looked at the world. So what I sort of realized is that, kind of like what I was saying, is that, see, I had assumed that things outside of me were responsible for things inside of me. So as a simple example, I attached my sense of self-worth to getting an A. So when I went to college, I was planning on becoming a doctor. And as any Indian kid wants to do, I wanted to go to Harvard. And so I had sort of all these grand dreams of what I wanted to accomplish in life and how I wanted to be a good force in the world and all this kind of stuff. It's all ego. And so what sort of happened is, even though I wanted all of these things, I assumed that all of that accomplishment would bring me happiness. It's when I went to India that I sort of discovered that like no amount of external accomplishment will bring you lasting happiness. And this is what we sort of see. These are the people that I work with now. I'll work with someone like a banker or a doctor or a content creator. And for all of these people, it's like once you accomplish your goal, your mind moves the goalposts. So you got promoted to vice president. Now you need to be director. Then you need to be managing director. Then you need to be, there's always more. The mind always wants more. So chasing after all of that will never lead to lasting happiness. So once I sort of started to realize that, I kind of gave up all of my desires for accomplishment. And the real paradox there is that as I let go of all of my goals, I started to become more successful.